8-8. What's going to be the talk then? Oh, they should have kept Foles. They should have held on to him. Now, I don't think that's going to happen because I do believe if Wentz can stay healthy, he is their franchise guy. But so far, that's been their question mark with him. He hasn't been able to stay healthy. But, realistically, the chances of Philly keeping Foles and moving off of Wentz is very low. And like I just said, the only way I think that could be a real consideration in that front office is if somehow Foles leads them to another Super Bowl. So going back to Parkey's missed field goal in that game, the NFL has labeled it a block because apparently number 90 for the Eagles got a finger on it, tipping it, sending it the other way, which caused the miss. You feel bad for the kid. You know, that's a crushing way to lose. I think if you ask most head coaches, would you rather lose on a missed field goal or by 2 touchdowns? I think most coaches would say, I'd rather lose by 2 touchdowns than on a heartbreaking missed field goal. And that's a tough situation. But what aided Philly there is, yes, Doug Peterson iced them on the first kick, which was good. Right down the middle, plenty of leg, looked good. But after he did that, Philly and that special teams really got a good idea of this is how he's going to kick this ball. So these are the sides that we need to stress to attack. And that aided Philly in forcing that kick. Because when you look at that replay, the guy on the outside edge to the right of the play, he gets through. He rushes that kick. And then number 90 for Philly tips the ball, which enables it to get pushed. It's a tough thing. You know, that's a heartbreaker for anybody, and I feel for what that guy's going through. I couldn't imagine dealing with that. I couldn't imagine having to deal with that. But that's another thing that makes them kickers. They're able to move on from it. But the fans the booing I can understand a little bit, but come on, back off some. But the ones that send death threats or post stupid stuff on social media, come on, man. I mean, come on. It's a football game. It's not like the guy lost you $1 million because he didn't make the damn field goal. Move on from it. Grow up. There's no reason to attack the guy. That's the stuff that's ridiculous. But Philly played that right. Doug Peterson played that right. Let him kick it. You know, call the timeout, but call it as the play is going on. So you can see this is how he's going to kick this ball. This is where we need to attack. And that's what Philly did. It's exactly what they did, and it worked. Like I said, the outside rusher got in. He rushed that kick. And then number 90 for Philly tipped it. It was really a good special teams play by Philly when you look at it. It was a good job by Doug Peterson and that coaching staff, and then it was a great job by those Philly special teams players because they rushed that kick, and then to get your hand up and be able to tip it, to force it. And Philly moves on. But again, going back to that game, that play where it was called, you know, pretty much like the play didn't happen, that was clearly a catch and then a fumble and nobody recovered it. And there are people inside the NFL that are saying if a Chicago player would have jumped on that ball after the play, that there's a good chance that the refs would have ruled Chicago ball at the 5-yard line. But that rule needs to be changed, all in general. Because that whole proceeding was dumb because after the ball hit the ground, the refs are blowing the whistle. They're blowing the ball dead. They're saying that the play is over. And players are taught You play to the whistle. But now, there's going to be people in the NFL. Belichick has already told his team, you jump on the ball. If there's a loose ball and the refs are blowing the whistle, you still jump on that ball. And there's a good chance that the NFL this offseason is going to change that rule. But again, in my opinion, when you look at it, even when you look at it in real time, it's a catch. It's definitely 3 steps and then a fumble. And nobody recovered it. And the refs didn't say, when they went to do the review and announce it, they didn't say that it was incomplete. They said it was a catch, fumble, not recovered, pretty much acted like the play never happened because the ball wasn't recovered. That's why they acted like, hey, it's a dead ball, the play never happened, which is stupid. It should have been ruled Chicago ball at the 5. Nobody recovered it, so that means that it's the teams who had it last, which was Chicago. It should have been Chicago's ball. But either way you look at it, that didn't cost them the game. The blocked field goal didn't cost them the game. They left too many points on the board. Way too many points on the board in that game. So the Cowboys win at home over the Seahawks 24-22. Like I just said, Colts beat the Texans 21-7. So next week you have the divisional round. And here are your opening lines. Colts versus Chiefs, Saturday at 4:35 on NBC. Currently, Chiefs are favored by 5.5. I like the Colts to win that football game in Arrowhead. Cowboys versus Rams, Saturday at 8:15 on Fox. Rams are favored by 7. I think that Dallas defense, it travels well. The Rams have not played good down the stretch. I like Dallas to upset LA in LA. Sunday, Chargers versus Patriots in New England, 1:05 p.m. on CBS. Patriots currently favored by 4. I'm taking New England to win that football game. And then the capper, Sunday evening, 4:40 p.m. on Fox. The Eagles at the Saints. The Saints are favored by 8. This is where I think the Foles magic is going to end. I think that Saints offense in the Superdome in New Orleans is going to be too much, and they're going to win. So I've got Colts, Cowboys, Patriots, and Saints winning next weekend. So another thing that's been brought up from this week is, should the Ravens have benched Jackson after the first half and gone to Flacco? There's been a lot of discussion on this. And again, I'm not going to sit up here and bash Jackson and say he can't throw, he can't start, he should be out of the league, blah, 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 blah. It was one game. It was against a team that figured them out and took advantage of it. Lamar's going to have to grow. The kid's a rookie, give him a break. He's going to have to grow. Yes, he has an awkward release. Yes, there is a little bit of a delay there, and that's something that Baltimore's going to have to work with him. But give him a chance here. Don't let this one game dictate your opinion of if he can throw the football or not. Let him grow. Now, this is where I stand on this, with the whole Flacco-Jackson thing. Should the Ravens have went with them at the end of the first half? Yes. They should have gone to Flacco. At that point, you're down by 20 points. Your season is on the line. Give the veteran Flacco a chance and put him in there. And I know people are saying, well, they did score 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. They scored it against the prevent defense. LA was playing prevent defense. We call those junk time yards, or trash yards, as they call it. But I believe they should have went to Flacco. Now, people always bring up the connotations of, well, if you pull a young quarterback and put a veteran in there or put the second stringer in there, it's going to ruin his confidence and he's going to be ruined for life. Well, if he's that bad mentally as a quarterback, then he probably shouldn't be a quarterback in the NFL. Because I don't want a starter that is that mentally weak. I don't want a starter who, if I pull him one time because he's playing bad, that it ruins the rest of his career, then I don't want you starting in the first place. Look at Foles. He's been benched plenty of times, doing just fine. I don't believe in that whole BS of you can't bench a young quarterback because it will ruin his mental strength. Well, if his mental strength is that weak, then he shouldn't be a starting quarterback in the NFL. Period. They should have went to Flacco here. They should have went to Flacco. Period. End of story. You're down by 20. Your season's on the line. You go to Flacco. That's my opinion, point blank. If you're worried about your young quarterback mentally getting fragile and not being able to recover from it, then you need to move on from him. Because if he's that mentally weak, then he shouldn't be a starting quarterback in the NFL to start with. And the whole thing of, Smith getting on the Ravens fans for booing Jackson, that's the pros, buddy. That happens in college. That's going to happen. Don't be mad at the fans. They have every right to boo if they want to boo him. They're the ones paying to be there. They're the ones helping to pay your salary. If you have a shit game and you played shitty, you deserve to be booed. End of story. Don't turn to the fans on the bench and say, stop being fair weather fans and booing Jackson. Come on, man. Come on. This is the NFL. Which, again, turns to that side of mental strength. If you're a quarterback that can't handle getting pulled because you're playing like crap, or if you're a quarterback that can't handle getting booed by the fans, you're in the wrong business, buddy. I don't have no problem with those fans booing. Just like I don't have a problem with the fans that booed Parkey after he missed the field goal in Chicago. I don't have a problem with that. You have every right to do that. Parkey even said that after the game. He said, I understand they have every right to do that. I understand that. What I don't agree with is the fans that take it to the extra length and might throw stuff on the field or might send stupid messages or whatever. That's stupid. Grow up. That's dumb. That's childish. But if you're booing, hey, you deserve it, obviously. But they should have went to Flacco there. Period. Here's a guy that most of his career for the playoffs has been remarkable. That season they won the Super Bowl, he threw 11 touchdowns and no interceptions. Now, some people are saying, well, maybe Harbaugh was worried about faults from the front office if he went to Flacco instead of Lamar. And then there are some people that are saying it was a business decision because they're going to look to trade Flacco this offseason. So they didn't want him in there at any point. Could it have been? Yes. I don't think it was the other one where Harbaugh was worried what the front office was going to think because Ozzie Newsome, the GM, he's gone after this season. They're bringing in a new GM. And it does look like Harbaugh's going to stay there. It looks like they're in talks of an extension. So it doesn't look like he's going anywhere. Flacco, at least all signs point that he's going to be traded. Who knows? The new GM that comes in there, he might change that. But they should have went to Flacco. Why they didn't, I don't know. Was it Harbaugh's own decision? Maybe. Was it a front office decision? Maybe. Was it a little bit of both? We'll not know. But in my opinion, again, no narc on Lamar. I'm not going to sit here and say because of that one game he can't be a starting quarterback in the NFL. I'm not going to say that.